Hey you, Meowkaiser coming at you today with a quick start guide to hand. Before we begin, I post videos like this every single day at 8 p.m. EST, and I stream over at Twitch at 8 p.m. EST Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. If that's the sort of thing you like, then please subscribe to me. It's free and you can always unsubscribe if you like. With that out of the way, let's get started. Hand is a mastery that is known for having quick but weak weapons, as well as characters that have ability sets that allow them to accelerate through the game faster than other characters normally would. For example, Hyunwoo gains extra mastery on Dogfight, and Leon's rapacious collecting allows him to see more items in the game than most characters. Both of those characters I mentioned I would recommend to new players since they are both very simple and straightforward characters. Another feature of Hand is that it has a weapon it can build out of every RNG item in the game. However, when it comes to Holy Blood, Hand must choose to make Chimera cry. They cannot do what Blunt does and make a weapon straight from Holy Blood or Arcane Stone. So for Blunts, they can just do Red Muffler or they could do Fang Mace, but Hand does not have that option. They have to go all the way up the tech tree into Engineered Arcane Motor. The general game plan for Hand is to make it to SS first, like most characters do. However, it's far more important on them because they need to start superhuman stacking as soon as possible. The way superhuman stacking works is that for every 3 attacks you do at SS, you gain 1 permanent stat attack, which helps to make up for how weak hand weapons are. I mentioned multiple times how weak hand weapons are. I feel like I should probably go into this now, with the exception of some more difficult to build weapons, like the Brazil Gauntlet, which takes a little bit longer, although I do go this fairly often. If you look at Ariman's hand, 46 stat attack is usually the threshold where most weapons are at, and even Ariman's hand takes a decent amount of time. You also have things like Bloodwing Knuckle, Meteor Gauntlet. Meteor Gauntlet tends to defect at around +4 attack. For those of you who don't know, every 10 attacks you do on this, it gains 1 stat attack permanently. But because of the way defect chance works, at around 65 hits, it usually defects. But I mean, obviously I'm speaking confirmation bias. I'm just it gets to +4 and it defects. I don't really expect it to get to +6 and stay there. And plus, most of the time you're using Meteor Gauntlet, it usually defects a little bit after it becomes useful. So on the topic of trying to hit SS first to stay ahead, the other method that you can do is you can hunt down Wickline if you're already ahead in the mid game. And the idea is to take the Holy Blood and to create Chimera's Cry, which is the legendary weapon, in order to cement your lead. Because Chimera's Cry you can treat as 1 additional tier of mastery above other characters, and Hand needs it more than anyone else. There's also a strategy where you can unequip your weapon when you're fighting animals in order to gain more mastery, because the way mastery works is it's for every attack you do. So you can just keep doing weak attacks against an animal without any weapons equipped and just gain more mastery that way. When it comes to learning Hand, I recommend learning Bloodwing Knuckle first. All it is a knuckle with iron ore, add a feather, and then add a ruby, which is just gemstone hammer. Really quick, really fast. It's a lot of people's first weapon that they learn anyway. And after you learn this, I recommend going through the RNG weapons and learning them. So things like, what can I build with Mithril? So I can make Fenrir Claw, I can make Imperial Silk Glove. Just go through and learn all of the RNG weapons, because a lot of what Hand wants to do is they want to rush their first purple weapon, and then they rely on RNG to get their second purple weapon, just expecting to defect somewhere in the middle of the game. After you learn the RNG weapons, then you can start experimenting with other things like Ariman's Hand, Brazil Gauntlets. You can always just ask me if you need any questions about that. And with that, that's my quick start guide to learning Hand. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like on the video and check out my Discord. I have a bunch of resources on Black Survival in here, as well as a place where you can ask me questions. And with that, peace.